Three,
Okay.
one, go.
Hey guys, I'm Candy Rookie Sam.
Hey guys, it's your Candy Rookie Migs and welcome to a special episode of Candy Hangout.
Yes, so today you're gonna get an intro to improv. In the Candy Hangout you're about to watch, Migs and I got a chance to chat with Aryn and Jan of Third World Improv.
To give you a little background about this one, well, the Third World Improv is the first school in the Philippines that is dedicated in teaching of the art of the improvisational theater.
It was set up in 2015 and it is being run by members of SPIT, which stands for Silly People's Improv Theater.
So at this moment, we're finally meeting some of the facilitators in the Third World Improv. So here with us today is Jan and Aryn to give us a better understanding about this craft.
Yes, we will also get to learn more about how they do their workshops and why you shouldn't be intimidated kahit medyo shy ka pa. Because honestly, you might even be convinced to try it out yourselves.
So here we go!
So Aryn and John, rather, what is improv? And ano yung mga basic principles niya and how is it different from acting and stand-up?
Actually, it's very, very different because yung improv, wala talagang script. You know how in plays and even for TV,
Yeah.
the actors have to memorize their lines and then nagbabatuhan sila. In improv, you make everything up on the spot. So lahat spontaneous and everything is based on audience suggestions. So kukuha kami ng suggestions from the people watching. And let's say, sabihin nila, okay, what's your name? Miguel, what do you do? I'm a Candy Rookie. Okay, pwede kaming gumawa ng musical na 30 minutes based on your life. So everything is just made up on the spot.
Improv can also be done by anyone, as in all walks of life. Kasi when we see acting, other performing arts, like for example, someone's dancer na talaga. But then sa improv kasi, anyone with any job can do improv and be great at it.
Okay.
It's,
So what skills would you say you should have to be able to learn or to be able to do good with perform?
A lot of people who join improv come in very scared kasi they think they have to do this, they think that they're gonna have to act, but we let them know that just as long as you come in open to the experience and tunong ka makiride, that's really all you need. You don't really need an acting degree, you don't need to be a good musician, to be a good actor. You just need to be open to the experience. And a lot of people have taken improv actually for personal development, not for acting, not to become a performer. So anybody from any walk of life can do it.
Since, Aryn, what you've said earlier, yung improv is spontaneous acting siya. So, paano yung mga rehearsals, yung practices, and yung classes na tinutunan sa mga students?
when you practice for an improv show, there's this thing called jams. Actually, you can do it as a practice or pwedeng for fun lang. It's sort of when you try different improv things together, see what works.
Actually, on Netflix now, thank God, may lumabas na improvised comedy specials. It's called Middleditch and Schwartz. So, ginawa nilang mainstream yung improv na ginagawa namin. They're on a stage with an audience of people, kumukuha ng suggestions, and then they create a one-act play. That's something that I can refer to nowadays. If people ask what improv is, I can say, oh, you watch this special, yun yung ginagawa namin. Improv has to be live because we're getting it from the audience. And that's part of the magic na hindi namin alam yung mangyayari. And the audience also doesn't know. So parang you have a secret together with the audience because both of you don't know what's gonna happen and you're both discovering what's happening as it's going on. So yun eh. That's why audiences like it. Kasi parang they're in on the show also.
So how does it become personal or how does it become realistic?
Okay, so one of the things that we like telling our students all the time is use truth. So, a lot of people think pag improv, iniimbento yan. It's coming from here, you know, they're making stuff up, which in a sense is true, but we like telling people to draw from something that is real. So we tell people to draw from their own personal experiences or experiences of people they know. Because pag mas nakaka-relate yung audience sa mga characters, it's easier to watch and it's more fun to watch.
You mentioned about your classes go. So like how do your classes go about, especially for the beginners classes?
So for the first few levels, what we want people to do is to be comfortable with themselves first. Because it's hard to be comfortable performing on stage if you're not comfortable with yourself. Kung conscious ka, if you're really not comfortable speaking in front of people. So in the first few classes, we encourage the students to collaborate with each other. We have exercises, we have games, so that they can sort of come out of their shell and then realize that as people, they're enough. You are enough to be able to create a story on your own. You don't need anything flashy, you don't need props, you don't need to sing or dance. Just you being yourself and being comfortable with yourself is enough to be able to create a scene with someone else.
Whenever you see a really nice show, it's nice to watch it again. But I also want to add that the beauty of like live improv shows is they can have, for example, twice a day sila mag-show, and it can be the same cast of people, but what you're going to get as in, for example, AM, PM show sila, diba? Yung AM could be very dramatic, tapos yung PM could be just full comedy laughter. That's the beauty of improv.
So who wants to go first?
I can answer. Confidence is key.
Okay,
Okay, go,
well,
Sam.
with you. Sige, Sam. So before we start the exercise, I want to explain the basic principle of improv, which is yes and. What that means is, pag may sinabi sa'yo, you will accept it, yes, as the truth, tapos dadagdagan mo with more information. So for example, if I say, Mommy, gutom na ako, what you're supposed to do is not say, hindi naman ako yung mommy mo eh. Or, di ka naman gutom eh. That is a clear no. What you have to do is to accept na ikaw yung nanay. Mommy, gutom na ako.
Okay.
Yeah, parang, sige anak, anong gusto mo? Corned beef or longganisa? So you added information, you accepted na ikaw yung nanay. Tapos tinanong mo, anong gusto mo? Longganisa or corned beef? So you're adding more information. Basically, yes and. And nakikiride ka lang with whatever happens. So, Sam and Jan, what's gonna happen is I'm going to give you a place, and then you two, kunwari friends na kayo from way back when, 5 years ago, you went to this place and nagbakasyon kayo doon. So Jan and Sam, are you ready? You're gonna start. Jan, you're gonna Sam.
Guys,
When we went to blank, I'll give a place.
Okay.
Okay? Mag-uusap kayong dalawa. So the place that you guys went to is Baguio.
Sam, remember when we went to Baguio? Sobrang daming tao.
Sobrang natatandaan ko yun. Tanda ko pa nga kasi pumunta pa tayo ng PMA.
Oo. Doon yung pinaka-concentrated yung tao sa Baguio. Kagulo nga sila, diba?
Kasi natandaan ko rin kasi, kasama tayo. Tapos binisita natin yung kapatid ko na nagpi-PMA ngayon. Ayun.
We can get there. Yeah.
I was honestly kind of nervous in the start, but then it just kept going, and then you just really imagine everything. And it was mentioned through to life because my brother's really from PMA, so it was kind of easy. There it is.
Music for truth. That's exactly what you mentioned earlier. Perfect.
Yeah.
3, 1, go.
grabe Jan. Remember when we went to Baguio last year?
How can I forget? Stuck tayo dun sa Cannon Road eh. Yun.
Kasi naman bumabagyo ata nun. So kailangan talaga natin mag-stop over yung parang gasoline station. Naalala mo ba yun?
Great job. We can end it there. Yeah.
Yes.
So, with constant practice, kaya kami nagre-rehearse every week. mas madedevelop yun yung quick thinking, listening is very important. So, mas makikinig ka sa mga sinasabi ng mga tao because that's what you're going to use sa mga material. Yeah, great job, guys.
Okay, yay! That was so much fun. Thank you so much, Aryn and Jan, for today.
Alright, so that concludes our intro to improv.
We hope that you guys learn a lot of things in today's Hangout, and if you guys are still interested to know more about this improvisational theater, make sure to visit the Third World Improv on Facebook to know more about their shows and classes.
It's really worth the experience because you really get the hang of it and it's a lot of fun naman talaga. So yeah. How about for you, Migs? How was it?
Well, you know what, Sam? Medyo nahirapan talaga ako sa mga exercises na ginawa natin earlier. And feel ko, mahirap talaga siya, especially if you're not a talker. But I can say naman that our performance earlier, we did well and it's not bad at all din naman. Pero siguro what's really fun in trying out these things is you're jumping out to your comfort zone and masaya siya i-try, guys.
Exactly. If there's one thing we learned about improv, it's that the best ideas come as long as you're open to the experience. Once again, I'm Candy Rookie Sam. You can follow me on all my social media platforms at Sam Samarita.
And once again, I'm your Candy Rookie Migs, and you guys can also follow me on my social media pages, that is at Venegas Migs on Twitter and Instagram, and Migs Venegas on YouTube. And before we officially end this video, guys, don't forget to follow Candy Magazine's social media pages, that is candymag.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Candy Magazine. Thank you guys for watching and stay safe.